So we begin this video by talking about Steph's recent comments, talking about how the Warriors shouldn't make desperate moves.
Desperate trades or desperate, moves that deplete the future. Like, there is a responsibility on allowing, or keeping the franchise when in a good space.
Now, these comments came right after they lost to my Toronto Raptors. The world finally got to see who Chris Boucher is in January, and boy, oh boy, is he nice. By the way, Celtics, Mavericks, do y'all like what you see? Please, please, please trade us a fucking first for him, please. Basically, Warriors had lead, Raptors took the lead back, and Buddy Hield airball. And this would be the first time the Warriors this season were one game under 500. And yeah, the struggle was definitely real. I don't know if people remember where they were like 2 months ago. They had won like 12 of the first 15 games.
Steph, you made some headlines the other day when you said that you didn't want the Warriors to go out and just be kind of rash, trying to make some improvements for this team as we get closer to the trade deadline. What type of confidence do you think that instilled in the guys to hear you say that, to say, yeah, we still got some dudes and we can go out here and win some games?
A 24-hour media or news cycle is hilarious at times. The fact that nobody's complacent here, nobody is okay with just being average. All the Twitter fingers who's got deals that we need to make can kind of just shut up a little bit and let us figure this thing out. Like,
this guy will go on to say this because they beat the Timberwolves in a clutch game. Basically saying, we have what it takes to compete every night. Like, Wardell, no you don't, and you know for a fact you don't. But something about the quotes that I'm hearing from Curry recently, it just bothers me a lot. Sounding more like something an owner would say than a player. Like, it's just weird. I want to keep the franchise in a good space. We shouldn't make any desperate moves at the deadline. Oh, these Twitter fingers making deals, they need to shut up, okay? And I'm not gonna lie, if I'm a Warriors fan seeing this, them acting all crazy like this because they beat the Timberwolves? Are we serious? Your team is outside the plane right now, one game under 500. Not just that, you're 1-8 against your divisional rivals. I don't know if anybody remembers the last time y'all beat the Timberwolves. Draymond did an ISO on Gobert, then hit the night-night. Like, dog, this was the fakest shit I've ever seen in my life. And somehow Warriors fans were confident that this was the beginning of a turnaround season. Like, what? And speaking on Draymond, this dude has also been pissing me off lately. So in this article by Yahoo Sports, I guess they interviewed Draymond, and this is where the quote came from, where he basically said, and I quote, "The beautiful part about being in the space that we're in," like, he also sounds like an owner. What's going on here? Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, and myself all disagree with mortgaging off the future of this organization, saying that we're going for it right now. Again, yeah, I'm sure you're going for it right now, Draymond. I'm sure your team is really blazing right now. And to continue this quote, he says here, bad teams do that. Bad organizations do that. We're not neither one. Are we sure about that at this point of the season, bro? I know for a damn fact that bad organizations are the ones that would do stupid moves. Not just that, but not do the moves that are pretty obvious to make. The Warriors had the opportunity to use up Chris Paul's, $30 million contract to get LaVine in a trade that the Bulls were desperate to make. The trade would have been Zach LaVine for Chris Paul or Andrew Wiggins, which you would give up Chris Paul, obviously, because he's the one with the fucking 30 mil that is easily just expendable. But instead, the dude that was obviously Giannis's crash dummy decided to waive Chris Paul's contract and not go for that trade that would have obviously made them better and provided Steph with that secondary scoring option that he desperately craves for now. And again, it's a funny thing to hear Draymond, of all people, say stuff like this, because he's also part of the reason why Steph doesn't have a secondary scoring option that he desperately craves for. Who remembers Jordan Poole? He was a dub at one point, and look at this. He would end up scoring 38 points against the Warriors recently in this game. Now, I know the Wizards still lost, but Jordan Poole is easily a better complementary player to Steph right now than anybody on the Warriors right now. And even the folks at Golden State miss him, you could clearly see them smiling whilst they wave off Poole at the end of the game. And Poole, he said something interesting in the post-game presser today as well. Not today, but like when this game happened.
How much love did you feel tonight, both during the game from the fans and then after the game from your former teammates and coaches.
Yeah, I love those guys over there. I love most of those guys over there, and really good group, really good staff.
Ouch. I think we know who he's singling out there that he doesn't love. We all know it's that dude that punched him in that, video that got leaked somehow and made what I still think is one of the saddest attempts at, being the victim in the situation. And let's just say he's still as self-aware as he was back then.
After the Washington Wizards game, Jordan Poole said, I love those guys over there. I love most of those guys over there. And then you respond with a tweet that says, I really am sorry. I really am sorry.
Draymond's justification for tweeting that is one of the least self-aware things I've ever heard in my life. I know I say this a lot, but, he's really not self-aware.
It's been 3 years. Let's move on.
Where's the love?
We moved on. We're supposed to move on, man. I really am sorry.
Right.
It was that statement was kind of it was kind of like it was looking for some sympathy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I kind of keep wanting to make me out to be the bad guy. Move on, bro. It is what it is. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have punched him. But it happened. Let's move on, man.
I'm sorry, but it's been 3 years. Let's move on, bro. But I'm really sorry, but you gotta move on, bro. It's been a while, bro. And I know I punched you. I'm sorry, but you still gotta move on, bro. Do you not hear how stupid that sounds? Do you not hear how fucking double-faced that is? Two mouth. He got two mouths coming out, just saying different shit every time he speaks English. And this sort of delusion that we see from all sides here, not just Steph and Draymond, even the front office, down to the ownership, is what leads me to believe these guys, they're never going to get it. And I think the Warriors are doomed to fail because of this. It all comes down to them not really acknowledging that they're in a bad situation, not just that, but trying to be steady as if things are still doing fine. It's like that burning meme of, the guy saying, I'm doing fine and everything's on fire around them. The Warriors, they're sure feeling like they're doing fine, but they're not. Okay, Clay's ship has left long ago, and now you got no ship to fucking fall back on. Now you got Buddy Hield's bum ass. And let's be honest. Them now holding Draymond accountable, and now Steph basically parroting what the owner wants him to say, makes me feel like both Dre and Steph are going to have equity of the team soon enough. I'm telling you, bro, the ship is sinking, and I feel like they don't care.
Meanwhile, the Lakers get back one of their walking wounded in Jaron Vanderbilt.
The Warriors recently dueled the Lakers during Rivalry Week on NBA, ABC, ESPN. And the game wasn't nearly as close or exciting as it was during Christmas night. Let's just say the Lakers are the better team, and it's clear now that they're better.
A rough second half as the up-and-down Warriors season continues.
Curry magic from Christmas clearly wearing off now. He's not nearly as consistent as he was in his prime. Not just that, but he's just not the same bursty player. You can see flashes here and there. Sound like I'm talking about Kuminga right now. Curry is regressing. We all know it. And he needs a scoring option that's going to help him obviously stave off a lot of these droughts that the Warriors are in right now. The Warriors have so many droughts during games where they just can't score because they're depending on Curry to score every time.
The Lakers win their third.
Oh, bro.
6 games.
Man, I'm disappointed, bro. This is not how it's supposed to end up, dog.
I'm not gonna lie, I always love seeing Flight react to Warriors losing games because it's funny. But at the same time, he said something that was very interesting during this one.
Side by Jackson Hayes. January double teaming Curry, second quarter, bro. Do I have to continue to brag about how Steph Chef look at Wardell Curry? Is he #1 basketball player of all time, man, right now, bro?
They're not doubling him because he's so good or he's so dumb. They're doubling him because he's the only player on the team that can create his own shot. Everybody else is a bum, let's be honest. They're doubling him because they know they can win this way. Try doubling LeBron James. There's AD right there. There's Reeves next to him. Sometimes there's even Rui. Who knows? Try doubling Jokic. There's Jamal Murray. There's MPJ. Try doubling... I'm trying to think. Scotty Barnes, fuck it. Try doubling Scotty Barnes. There's guys next to him that can actually do stuff with the ball. RJ Barrett. I mean, look, bro. Look who's on that court right now. Gary Payton II, Quentin Post, Dennis Schroeder. Okay, that's not bad. That's the only guy that I would be confident with the ball in his hands. But that's the only guy. Moses Moody can barely create his own shot. He'll catch and shoot, but I wouldn't trust him to do anything else unless he's in a dunker spot. Like, let's be honest, bro. Curry is being set up to fail here by the Warriors brass. And not just that, it seems like Curry just doesn't care anymore. It seems like he's coasting, or he's been told that he's gonna own stake in the Warriors, so he doesn't have to worry much about his playing career anymore. You have LeBron James and recently Anthony Davis basically saying, I need another big next to me. Rob, make sure to get it done. Steph and Dre, meanwhile, are like, let's not haste ourselves. Let's not do anything rash. Bad organizations do that. Well, guess what, buddy? You're in bad organization now. So, hey, get to trading now. Get to doing those moves. And boy, it's time to put on my GM hat and try to save the Warriors season. So as we know, the Bulls, they want to trade Vucevic. They're open to rebuilding now. And Vucevic is a great option for the Warriors at the center position. Stretches the floor out. Draymond obviously is going to be the 4, so you don't have to worry too much about the defensive end, right? You've got capable players that can mask Vucevic's horrible rim protection, right? You'll be all right? So let's just trade him to the Warriors. And now the Warriors have to give something back in return. And then to make the money work, you're going to have to trade in Cal Anderson, Gary Payton II, and Lindy Waters. I think the Bulls would be satisfied with one of those guys. If not, you can add in Buddy Hield's contract. You can add in Kevon Looney, whatever. Like one of those guys, if the Bulls do want one of those guys. They might also ask for Moses Moody. So you know what? Let's make this more realistic for the Bulls. Now, the problem with the Bulls run into if they do try to trade for Moody is that he's on a poison pill contract. Basically, that $5.8 million turns into $10 million incoming into the cap, and that's not good for the Bulls for sure. Now, on the bright side, they can use their trade players exception for Kyle Anderson and Buddy Hield on this trade. So I'd say this trade could actually work. Obviously, the picks, they're probably going to ask for a first, but the Warriors are probably going to have to give 2 to 3 second-round picks to try to make up for the lack of first-round picks there. Well, if Nikola Vucevic is too expensive, I got another option that you can go for that is going to cost you less money. And this is one of my personal favorites because it involves my team. Yay, the Raptors. So a stretch big, right? Y'all need one of those guys. So Kelly Olynyk would be a great stretch big to have. And I'd say for the Raptors, we'll take in Cal Anderson's contract. Why not? And you know what? We might or might not ask for Moses Moody, but he does have a poison pill. So most likely we'll settle for somebody else, like maybe a Lindy Waters. But you know what? I'll just put Moses Moody's contract right here just to trade it off. And now for the picks, we'll probably just ask for 2 second-round picks. So you would have to cough up this one here, which is a Miami pick that's protected. And then this one here from 2030. So that's 2 second-round picks coughed up right here. And this trade, I think, will be successful. Yes, it will. Now, the only problem here is obviously Moody's poison pill contract, which is, I think, why the Warriors would have to give up more than 1 second round here. Look, let me tell you something, man. This is the best you'll get. Hey, man, I tried wearing my GM hat, but I'm not a GM. I'm not an expert. These trades will probably not happen. If they do happen, they won't look anything close to like this, okay? I'm not the expert here. But what I do know is those 2 trades are based on reports that the Warriors are interested in both Kelly Olynyk and Nikola Vucevic, one or the other. They're not going to trade for both of them. They're going to trade for one or the other. And I think, both trades would actually make them, substantially better. That's me obviously trying to hype up Kelly Olynyk's trade value here because he's actually been playing decent. And to be quite honest, I want him off my team immediately.
On the year, you guys are 1-20 when trailing after 3 quarters.
What?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
What
I
makes
did not know
it
that.
so difficult for this team to come back in games?
Repeat, we're 1-20 when what?
This is the face of a man who just realized how shitty his team is. This is the face of a man that's like, how did it get this bad in here? How did it get this stinky? I know Draymond didn't make it this stinky. Somebody else had to have done it. And I know this Warriors organization, they don't want to face the reality, but they got it at some point. Either you blow it up, you trade both Steph and Dre and try to rebuild with the most assets possible, or you try to trade for a win-now player, which you haven't been able to do over the last couple of years. And the players that you did have that were win-now, You scapegoated them in the playoffs because they had a bad playoff series against the Lakers. Oh, wink, wink. Well, you've created the bed. Now you have to lie in it, and so on and so forth. Peace out, boys. I hope you guys have a great day. Warriors, you're cooked, buddy.